Hello, welcome to another section in further mathematics. In this section, we'll be looking at gradient of a straight line. Gradient of a straight line. But before we continue, quick review into our previous lesson. Okay, welcome back. Now, each time when we plot our graph, let me say this is our graph, a straight line graph. Now we have points like this. Let me say here is 8, here is 2, and at this point is 3, and here is, will I just call it 9. Now if you're being told to find the slope or gradient, slope and gradient, same thing. If you're being told to get the slope and gradient of this graph, what you expect to do is, when you have 2 points like this, the higher value is called, like this, is called the y2, the lower one is y1, this here is x2, and this is your x1. So in getting the slope, we discussed this in our previous lesson, that slope is just y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So our y2 is 9 minus 3, which is our y1, all over x2 is 8 minus 2. This is 6 over 6. Our slope is equals 1. Just as simple as that. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's try this. Question 2. We'll be looking for the slope. Find the gradient of the line joining. Now these are the points P 7 minus 2 and Q is minus 1 2. Now let's look for the solution. Remember the points, they are P 7 and minus 2 and Q minus 1 and 2. These are the 2 points. Now remember our equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is just as straight as in our y2 is 2 minus our y1 minus our y1 is minus 2 all over our x2 is 1 minus x1 7. So this is now 4 over minus 8, which is equal to minus 2, because here is 1, here is 2, the minus sign, so it's minus 1 over 2. So our slope is minus 1 over 2. Now you know very well that when you have an equation like y is equal to mx plus c, here is a slope, here is the intercept, and this is our y and this is our x. So I might tell you to find, this is question 3, find the gradient of a line, of the line 7x plus 4y minus 8 equals to 0. All you need to do is to make y the subject of a formula, because this is an equation of a straight line. Just make y the subject of the formula. So you now have, we saw this, let's take this minus 8 here and take minus 7 this other side. We now have 4y to being equal to 8, because if minus 8 comes, it becomes there's minus 7x. So with this, we now have, we divide both sides by 4. We now have y to be equals 8 over 4 minus 7x over 4. Now we now have it in this form. Our y will now be equal to 8 over 4 is 2 minus 7 over 4 minus 7 over 4 x. So the value of our y is equals, remember you put it in this format, the one that has x appears first, is equal minus 7 over 4 x plus 2. So minus 7 over 4 now is our slope, or you call it the gradient, is our slope. Because if you compare this equation with this are y, the one that is m is minus 7 over 4 that I said is a slope. Then we have our c that happens to be the intercept of this line. Now let's move further. What if I end up in giving you will I say I end up in telling you to sketch, because you use the slope getting what you want, to sketch graphs of straight lines, to sketch graph of a straight line. Now the first thing you have to do is, okay, let me say this is the equation of the line: 4x minus 3y to being equals to 12. Now one of the things I want us to do is, let us make the equation in form of, remember the equation of a straight line is y equal to mx plus c. So let's do it that way. We now have minus 3y will be equal to 12. This goes to this other side, minus 4x. So our y becomes 12 divided by minus 3 minus 4x divided by minus 3. So we can go further to break it down as minus 4, because this divided by this minus 4. Minus minus is plus, plus 4 over 3x. So our y is now equal to 4 over 3x minus 4. Now this is the equation of the straight line. I've converted it into this form. So with this, you know that our slope is, this is a slope and this is the intercept. This is the slope and this is the intercept of this equation. Now I say, if I want you to sketch it, to sketch the value of this, I'll now say, okay, let's look for their respective value. Now what is the value of x? I'll say let x equals 0. You know, if you put x 0 here, our y become equal to minus 4. If you turn this to 0, everything here is 0, y will become minus 4. And you say let y equals 0. Now let's put y as 0. You now have 4 over 3x to be minus 4 equals 0. So if minus 4 comes to that this way, therefore you now have 4 over 3x is equal to 4. Now 3 goes here, it becomes 4x is equal to 12. So if 4x is 12, so the value of our x is equal to 12 over 4, which is 3. So remember, we now have when x 0, y was minus 4, and when y 0, x was 3. Now if you come to a graph of this nature and place it like this, now let's say in our graph, these are minus 1, let's just say these are minus 4. Then in our x-axis, this is our 3. You want to draw the straight line. Remember, when y was 0 here, x was 3, you mark this point. And when x was 0, y was minus 4, you mark here. Now you draw a straight line joining these 2 points. So your line will be of this form. You've sketched the graph. Have you seen how we sketch the graph without knowing even the equation? We created the equation. Now putting x as 0 and y 0. Now this is the nature of your graph. you've just gotten a very nice and wonderful graph out there. Now, I think I would like to say a very big thank you for being part of today's lesson. But in order for you to refresh your memory on what we just discussed, please take the test that will be appearing shortly on your screen. Do well to use this lesson notes on the platform for a better information on the topic we've discussed. Thank you, and see you in our next lesson.